Welcome, Born Winner. Stay with me as we expand our knowledge with videos from all over the internet that's going to make you rethink everything. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and also share with your friends. And also, click on the notification bell icon so that any content that I post, you will be the first to get it. Let's just start.
Is Trump Tower, and the unit I'm about to show you is exactly what you'd expect. It's opulent, palatial even, with a layout of grand scale and proportions. This is the great room, that's the primary. The entryway through there, you've got a hallway with a bedroom there, a third bedroom there, and your kitchen back here. And just look at the finishes here. The kitchen obviously can be sealed off. You got your refrigerator built in, all your pantry storage with these cabinets. The washroom is a work of art, and you'll notice that with every single bathroom in this apartment. But this room, of course, is the centerpiece. The wood trim with inlaid material wallpaper, the grand piano, the two matching chandeliers. Everything about this is grand. The primary bed has an entire lounge in the bedroom with corner south-facing windows. This apartment and this bedroom get flooded with sunlight every single morning. That's Fifth Avenue down there. That's the west side. And look at this bed.
Wow,
by the way,
it's
there are
huge.
some hidden closets in this room, all built out. You've got this mirror that matches the bed. And this is, of course, very particular taste. One thing I will say, the layout is absolute perfection. It's so simple. Primary suite, secondary bedrooms, great room as the center, the heart of the apartment. Your entryway that leads right into this great room, the kitchen, which comes off it as well. And let's take a look at the bathroom in the primary suite. Everything from the floor to the ceiling to the step up to the massive jacuzzi tub to this shower. What is going on here? You've got 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. A steam feature right there, and this golden handle. Now, the secondary bedrooms are no less opulent. The first of the bedrooms is off the entrance. There's a hallway that can be sealed off, so if you've got a party going on, the bedroom does not get affected. There's a second door just past that washroom that takes you to the next hallway with closets built in, and this is already in this bedroom suite. We've got this bathroom with a shower. Take a look at that sink
right.
and this vanity. And then the bedroom, which has its own door to seal it off, another corner bedroom, and a totally different color scheme. This one's southeast facing, so again, a ton of sunlight, a built-in desk, wall of built-in storage with what looks like gold leaf behind the glass. Mirrors, built-in headboard, more hidden storage right here, more inlaid velvet wallpaper. Now back through the kitchen to the great room takes you to the third bedroom. The color theme here is royal purple. Again, corner windows, southeast facing, more hidden built-in storage, and another equally unique bathroom with a step-up shower. This is all royal blue, and you've got a pillar on either side of the entrance to the shower. And these are the doors to this bedroom. This 3-bedroom is one of a kind.
3-bedroom?
Well, perhaps the most one-of-a-kind building in New York City right now.
They said telepathy is just the tip of the iceberg. It goes way deeper. I've been really getting back into the telepathy tapes.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, it's blowing my absolute mind.
Tell me about it.
There's this one boy, Houston. His story is just insane. Like, grew up severely autistic, non-speaking, and mom had just grew up thinking that he was basically almost like a vegetable. And she came home one day. Her son walked downstairs, looked her straight in the eyes, which she said never made eye contact ever, and said, "I love you." Verbally. Through that was the beginning, figuring out that he could read people's minds. He could see what they were thinking. And then it starts with him talking about this place. He says that he goes to this place with other kids, other people that have this ability of telepathy. They call it the Hill.
Yeah.
And he says, we meet there, we teach each other things, we pray for each other. And it's like this community of kids that have this ability. They go to the Hill. It's not like a physical place. It's like not dimensional. It's like a place where their consciousness goes, and they said, but it's like in the shape of a hill. He talks to other kids around the world, like one from Denmark, one from Texas, one from like just all over the world.
Is it being tested, like them following up with these people, reading?
Yeah.
So like they're touching base with all these people and somehow they've never had contact with each other.
Yeah.
They don't know each other at all.
But the part that it's proven is all these kids can speak multiple languages.
What?
The example was a 2-year-old non-speaking autistic kid. He could speak 7 languages.
Like,
But he's never been taught
7
before. He's
languages.
2. Could be getting this wrong too. This is all secondhand.
I'm trying to be the first person to be with 1,000 guys in 24 hours.
When I was a young boy, my grandmother used to always be saying, "I'll soon be gone, dear, I'll soon be gone." She was probably around 60. I was just a little kid. But at 94, she was still going. And one night, the angels just came and took her away. When I was a young guy, at the same time, I had a friend named Bob Yates. Bob Yates and I were, as they say, thick as thieves. We did everything together. Bob turned 16, a little ahead of me, and he got his driver's license. He ran into the abutment of a bridge. The red paint come through, squashed him against the bridge, and the bridge squashed him against the paint. Like that. 16. He was snuffed out.
So sad.
If you had asked Bob a half hour before he hit that bridge how much time he had left, he'd have said half a century for low. He didn't have half an hour. See, the truth is we don't know how much time we've got. But we know we're here and now, and the only thing we've really got is what's right here in the center. Right now. If we want to enjoy more of life, we've got to give everything we've got right now. Let's not plan, well, in the future I'll do it. Or let's not be sad about what didn't happen in the past. I started with nothing, and I built a company that operates all over the world. I've earned millions of dollars. And I've come to the conclusion that you and I are capable of doing whatever we can see. We can hold it in our head, we can hold it in our hand. We've got to step out and do different. We've got to quit playing like this is a game. We've got to treat life like what it is. It's sacred. Yet we're capable of doing anything we want. But we've got to do it. It ain't going to happen for us. You see, I think this is very important we focus on this. Focus on right now, because that is all you've got. There isn't any past, there isn't any future. Yeah. Now's it. That's it. When the sand's gone, it's gone. Now you see, there's more sand in the bottom of the glass than there is in the top. Here, boom, I can turn it over. Now I got more sand in the top than the bottom. You can't do that with your life. I can do it with Sandtimer, but I can't do it with my life. But I can be more effective now by making up my mind I'm going to be. And that's what I recommend you do. Don't waste your time. Do you know that everybody alive gets exactly the same amount of time we get all there is? It's what we do with it that makes the difference. Don't waste your life. Set your goals high. Quit thinking about what's wrong. Start thinking what's right. Love a little more, hate a little less. You have no idea what you're capable of doing. Make up your mind today, you're going to figure it out. This is Bob Proctor. Thank you.
I was doing some thinking and I realized that deep conversations with open-minded people is such an underrated luxury. Like, when's the last time you actually spoke to a person and felt like they could see you, that they could hear you, that they understood you, and that y'all were on the same wavelength? Some of us are surrounded by people that we can't have real conversations with. Some of us are dating people that we can't have beyond surface level conversations with. When most people meet me, they don't even understand, like, why do you care? Why do you talk like this? Why do you think like that? It's because I feel like the levels of human connection that we can go to supersede all of this surface level bullshit. The bond that you can create with another human being is so special and so powerful, it can move mountains. And when you have a team of people surrounding you like that, and I don't mean a team like they work for you, I mean a team like you all work together. Do you realize what you can accomplish? Sometimes it's even just that random stranger that you just have a random deep conversation with in a bookstore or in Target or wherever that might change your perspective on something and give you more life and just put that battery back in you. We need to prioritize more of talking to each other and figuring out what's really going on instead of talking about other people that are already successful, that already have these supposed dream lives.
I agree with
And
that.
while we're on the topic of Hollywood arranged marriages, let's take it back to 2007. Now, this is Kanye with his then girlfriend Alexis Pfeiffer and Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian was fresh off of her home video that made her famous, and she was still hungry and on the come up. Now, also in 2007, Kanye's mom, Donda, passes away. Him and Alexis break up. He starts seeing Amber Rose. But the whole time he's with Amber, he's cheating with Kim.
Oh,
Kim
really?
is seeing Reggie Bush. She's cheating with Kanye.
Wow.
Now, Kim wants
that.
us to believe that she was a huge part in helping Kanye grieve the passing of his mom. Yeah, I bet she was. Something else that's interesting is how Amber and Kim have the same birthday. Kind of weird there. But anywho, after Kanye and Amber fizzle out, he goes public with Kim Kardashian, and Kim and Chris were like, this is our chance. They started rubbing their fucking hands together like Birdman because they knew that Kanye was the biggest bag that Kim had come across thus far, and that Kim was trying to rise up levels within the industry. Okay. She wanted to break into fashion. Kanye was cool with the fashion people. So she popped up pregnant. And then her and Kanye got married, and then she gave him 3 more kids, and then the rest is history. Look, y'all.
So it looks like it was all manipulation.
Kim was plotting. The whole time, she was plotting. You gotta watch these girls, okay? Because they be watching and plotting on your ass. She definitely has taken some inspiration from Alexis Pfeiffer. The same way that Haley was watching and lurking and stalking Selena. This one here be plotting on a lot of black girls, okay? Rihanna, she be stealing her swag. Naomi Campbell, we know that she's obsessed with Beyonce. Like, look, the DNA and the energy harvest is real. You got to watch out. And y'all call them the clan. I call them the coven. Let's talk in the comments.
Totally naked woman rushed into a taxi. The taxi driver turned back and stared at her keenly. The woman asked the taxi driver, "Why are you staring at me that way? Haven't you ever seen a naked woman before?" The taxi driver replied, "No, I'm just wondering where you have my money at."
What is the country with the lowest legal age for sexual activity in the world? I originally didn't believe that the legal age for sexual activity in the top-ranked country would be so low, until I came to a nightclub in that country and spent a wonderful night with a girl. Firstly, the legal age for sexual activity in the world is generally around 18 years old. So what is the country with the lowest legal age for sexual activity? 5th place, Canada, where the legal age of consent is 14 years old. 4th place, Spain, where the legal age of consent is 13 years old. The 3rd place is South Korea, whose legal system does not set strict age limits for sexual consent. The legal age for sexual consent in South Korea is 13 years old. The 2nd place is Japan, where the legal age of consent is 13 years old, but this is still not the minimum age. Before announcing the 1st place, write in the comments section what age you think is the most reasonable for sexual consent. The legal age for sexual activity in the top-ranked country is 12 years old, and girls at this age are just beginning to mature. This country is Niger.
Think about it. Wake up. Wake up. What would happen if we just stopped buying phones?
You know what's so confusing to me? Niggas be having no job getting bitches pregnant. How do your sperm work but you don't?
So KFC is trying to tell us the truth about what we're eating without telling us the truth about what we eat. So KFC put out a new ad, and in this new ad, let's just say it's a whole bunch of shit that don't got nothing to do with eating chicken. And for lack of a better words, in that video, it looks like they're saying that they've been feeding us people and not chicken. Matter of fact, look at this shit. Look at this shit.
This is a commercial?
This ain't even a whole commercial. The whole commercial is crazier than this. Look at this shit. So what this mean right here? Oh, nah. Look. Oh. So you just turned a human into a chicken tender, right? Okay. Believe in the what? and the chicken. And this takes me back to the video that I made about McDonald's selling 6.5 million burgers a day. Where the hell is all of this chicken coming from? What I'll say is this. These people have a way of letting us know what's going on without letting us know what's going on. And that commercial, ad, or whatever you want to call it, just told me everything that I needed to know. See, this is the reason why I don't really like to eat fast food right now. And I'm not telling you to stop eating fast food. You can do what you want. The only thing I'm asking is, how many pieces of chicken do KFC sell in a day? And once y'all tell me that, then we'll understand what's going on over there.
Damn, crazy, right?
These people are selling what?
This is
Look
crazy.
at that ad again. Tell me what you think that ad is saying. Because that ad is speaking volumes.
Damn.
I'm out of here.
And speaking on moving to a different country, y'all, I'm telling y'all, look at this website. Let me explain to you what we're looking at. If you have a U.S. passport and you're thinking about moving somewhere else and exploring a different country and staying there for a while, let me explain to you what this is that we're looking at. Go ahead and repost this for me because somebody else may need this. Now, the first thing first, the reason why the U.S. is this color is because this is the passport that we have and we clicked on it. But each country is color coded based on visa requirements for that country. So the red means that, you have to have your visa before you go into the country. So each country has a different color coding, different time frame. So let me show you. Let's go over here. So these are the countries of the world, right? So you can either type the country up here to find what you're looking for, or you can scroll down this list and just find whatever country it is that you're looking for, that you're interested in moving to. Let me show you this. Belize is one of my top picks. So I can go there visa free for 180 days. Now, of course, if you're trying to be permanent, you have to look up, permanent requirements or whatever. But if you're just trying to go try it out, I'm telling y'all, this website is very useful. It shows all of the countries and it shows their visa requirements.
Why the fuck aren't we talking about how Adele's interview got deleted within hours after she revealed her weight loss secret? Some viewers managed to record it before it disappeared. Watch this clip before they take it down.
What's the secret that celebs like me use to keep a slim, youthful and beautiful figure year round? Is it dieting? Come on, we all know that doesn't work. What about spending hours on the treadmill and forcing yourself to do boring, sweaty cardio? No, that doesn't work either. I literally eat whatever I want, whenever I want. Pizzas, pasta, cake, burgers, you name it. I eat it. You see, cutting out your favorite foods and exercising every day is what the mainstream media tells you. But have you ever wondered how celebs get into amazing beach bikini shape so quickly for their next TV show or movie? It's the best kept weight loss celebrity secret in Hollywood. And no, it's not Ozempic. Big pharma companies wouldn't want you to know this secret, as they prefer to keep you buying their expensive treatments that take ages to work, like Ozempic to keep you paying for them forever. I'm going to reveal my secret to slimming down fast so you can lose 10, 20 pounds each month and get that slim, youthful physique you've always desired. It's the same celebrity secret that's helped Oprah go from 237 to 198 in 4 months, or Jonah Hill go from to 260 to 175 for his next movie. So what is this Hollywood secret? There's a secret nutritionist in Hollywood that all the celebs know who recommends them this fat burning secret to activate their inbuilt skinny switch. I owe my success to my fans, so after being asked so many times by media and fans for my skinny switch secret, so for the first time ever, I'm going to reveal it to all my fans. It's just a simple tweak with your morning coffee, and with just 2 common household ingredients found in your pantry, you can supercharge your metabolism by up to 713%.
What?
I never have to give up my favorite
What?
foods, or spend hours on the treadmill after my celebrity nutritionist showed me how to activate my skinny switch.
I was shocked when I saw this. I spent days researching what Adele mentioned about this coffee trick. At first I thought it was bullshit, but then I found a video explaining the exact recipe she was talking about. The craziest part? There's actual science behind this. Harvard researchers discovered that adding this one ingredient to your morning coffee activates your skinny switch and melts stubborn fat while you sleep. I myself tried it when I saw it and lost 26 pounds in just 4 weeks doing this. Celebrities have been gatekeeping this for years. Notice how they all carry coffee but never share what's actually in it. Now we know why. I put the link to the full video in my bio. It shows exactly how to make this coffee that's helping thousands of women drop 3 to 4 dress sizes without dieting. But watch it now because they're actively removing this from the internet.
Now Elon made this post today. And look
That's
at his
so
wall.
annoying.
And then right under the post, he puts this: my Doge office with the late great Kekius Maximus on the wall. Now you might want to look for ticker KM, Kekius Maximus, because their volume looks really good and their market cap is only 2 million right now. This might blow up, They're even getting shoutouts from huge creators like Mario Nawfall. And I checked out their website and their roadmap looks pretty legit. Like the team is going hard. This might be something you want to pay attention to because if Elon keeps posting this and soft shilling this, it might do numbers. I'm talking 10x, 20x, even 100x. So check it out. I'll leave the CA down below. And yeah, I'm gonna grab some just in case.
First y'all made Elon cry, now y'all making him beg. I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. This man is literally begging Tesla staff to hold on to their shares. He's begging, he's pleading with them. Okay? Please hold on to your shares. And remember, I put 3 fingers up, 4 top business executives for the company sold over $100 million worth of shares in early February. Remember, this man has lost over $200 billion from his net worth. He is begging them. An article just broke news that he is begging Tesla employees and Tesla staff to hold on to their shares. And I don't know how well that's going to do for him considering Tesla's Cybertruck just got hit with its 8th recall. 8th recall over safety regulations. Like, apparently, the outer external panel, you can literally peel. It is peeling off, especially for parts of the windshield. It literally is peeling off. And you could peel it off yourself if it doesn't do it on its own. And now y'all got him begging. And you know me, I tell you guys to go and fact check. Go on MSN.com right now. The title of the article is "Must Pleads with Tesla Staff Not to Sell Shares After Trump Backlash." It's honestly too fucking late. It's too late. Not only did you attach yourself to Donald Trump, but when you did attach yourself to Donald Trump, you got cocky. You got arrogant. You started telling other government officials and other politicians in other countries to shut up. You was using your platform X as a means to I don't know. And I don't know. To be honest, you enraged the people, but you were using that platform as if I have this big billboard and I can basically say whatever the fuck I want to say. Now you've lost public interest. People don't care about you. Anybody who was siding with you before as a business person loathes you now. They all hate you. And then all of the people that invested their money in you, because let's be honest, most of them not going to give a fuck about you unless you're taking money out of their pockets. Now that's what you're doing because you've decided to attach yourself to that man, get into politics, something that you should have never did, ruin not only your reputation, but because you ruined your reputation, you ruined the reputation of the business. And now all those investors are looking at you crazy because you losing their fucking money. Congratulations. But now that you have made this man cry on national television, y'all got this man begging. I want to see you guys combine that. I want this man begging and crying on his knees. That's what I want to see. And even then, we still not letting up.
What's he gonna do? Like, Ross is gonna run up? This is obviously some twisted joke she's trying to.
In this video, see if you can figure out what's real and what's AI.
What?
Is this gazebo real or AI? It's AI. The barbecue? It's real. This hamburger is fake. Which one of these is the real purse?
This illusion is crazy.
This one. This is a potato. This ship. It's real. This ship? It's AI. Is this building real or AI? It's real. It's called the shell. Here's a hard one. Which potato is real? This one.
Obviously.
This is a potato, but it was AI generated before. What's AI in this scene? Virtually everything. I can change my background.
Oh, really?
What? Which toilet paper roll is real? This one.
Yeah, right.
I need a prop budget.
But I had a shadow too.
We must find his real name, Netanyahu. That one is a fake name for Israel. He's got his real European name because he's not a Jew. You heard me. Google it up. What is Netanyahu's real name? They were converted, these Turkish, and in the book, The 13th Tribe by Ford, you'll actually find some of this information readily available.
It was common practice for Zionist immigrants at the time to adopt a Hebrew name. Nathan Mileikovsky began signing some
like
of the articles
a
he
Russian name.
wrote. Netanyahu, the Hebrew version of his name, and his son adopted this and his family name. So his real name is Nathan Mileikovsky. I didn't know this. Okay.
Part of learning and growing.
So his real name is Nathan.
Yeah.
Okay, that's true.
Benjamin. His real name is Mileiskovsky, not Netanyahu. Why would they change their name though?
To adapt to the Hebrew Jewish narrative.
Yeah. And somebody posted a video of, I think it was
Wow, I didn't know that.
18
That's crazy.
of an old movie of people that lived in Jerusalem at the time. And most of them were black people.
You can Google again the Egyptian prime minister who says he's not going to accept Jerusalem as it is right now. Because when the blacks left, when the Israelis left here, they were black. Now they came back white. So he's not going to recognize that.
So what do you want me to Google?
You can Google the Egyptian president who refused to accept the white Jews. So they left here as black. Now they're coming back as white. So when did the Jews become white? Because the Fertile Crescent sits on the Platonic stone of Africa, literally. It's impossible that white people can come out of Israel. But of course, to fit with the United Nations narrative of reclaiming the 1946-47 treaties of giving Israelis back their land, then you find these white people, these converted Ashkenazis who converted into Judaism, claiming to be Hebrews and Jews.
Why would they do that though?
It's a religious benefit. It's a religious benefit. Again, it plays into the white supremacy narrative that they are the chosen people. And because they are chosen people, it resuscitates and sanitizes all white people. It's critical that the Jews must be white, theologically. Because once the Jews are white and they're at the door of the Bible, then anyone who reads this text must read it through the interpretation and the culture of those that are claimed to be Jews.
Deep, man.
So once the Jews are white, do you have a problem with the white Jesus? Why would you have a problem? It's a rewriting, it's a stealing of black history. Blatant. One of the biggest lies ever told on the face of the earth is that Jews are white. One of the biggest lies ever told historically, academically, ethnographically. Go back and purge through your history books. Find me a white man who was taken as a slave in Israel, from Israel to Egypt, to work to build the pyramids. White people, slaves in Egypt. And Moses came to redeem white people.
In 1958, President Nasser of Egypt said of the Jews, they left here black and came back white. What did he really mean though? They say he meant the truth. Millions of modern Jews are either converts or light-skinned mixed race people who don't fit the description of the earliest inhabitants of Israel.
It is two ways. He said that he is saying that when they left Egypt, they left here as blacks. But now he's being told to recognize them in Israel, and they're all white. So how did the transformation happen? That a black nation ended up as a white nation. But this is theological bigotry and mischief, where academic institutions of theology have allowed to whitewash the Bible and whitewash the theology to fit into the colonial narrative.
The ancient Middle East was first settled by Hamitic people, including the Kushites. The legendary ruler, Kushite king Nimrod, the Ethiopian, is immortalized in geographic and place names like Nimrod Fortress Castle in Israel.
The Hyksos. There was actually a period of the whitening, even in research on that also, the whitening of Egypt. Where the whitening of Egypt.
The white?
Whitening.
The whitening of Egypt.
The whitening of Egypt, where actually the Hyksos were defeated, and the light in complexion Arabs started taking all the black Hyksos as slaves and pushed them out of royalty, and now started having them white. Now, when you walk around Egypt, it looks like it's a white country.
Yeah,
but
right?
actually, there was a process of the whitening of Egypt and the extermination of the black Hyksos, and hence the removal of the nose of all the statues to not show that the history that was here was of the flat-nosed people rather than the sharp-nosed people who are now claiming history as theirs.
The whitening of Egypt is a controversial idea that has been used to claim that ancient Egypt was a white civilization. However, mainstream Western scholars reject the idea. The idea that ancient Egypt was white or black is considered anachronistic by Western scholars. They argue that applying modern racial concepts to ancient Egypt is incorrect. Scholars also reject the idea that ancient Egypt was racially homogeneous. Instead, they believe that skin color varied between people from Lower Egypt, Upper Egypt, and Nubia. The controversy over the racial identity of Egypt has continued into the modern era.
And why again, let's put these two arguments back to back. Number one, you have a religious argument, which gives you the white people as Jews. Number two, you have an academic argument, which is now trying to exterminate the black history and make it white. So see what's happening here. Academically, by claiming the history of Egypt as white history, you have been able to remove black people away from innovation, from academics, from history, as the originators and the most ancient civilization on the face of the earth. You claim that history, make Cleopatra white woman, make the pharaohs white people, make Moses taking the Israelites out of Egypt, make them white. That whole movie, rubbish, scandalous narratives. So by taking away our history and by sitting at the door of religion, you are able to brainwash people that they're inferior to you because their civilization, without them, there's no civilization. Without them, there's no salvation. So the white people become the gatekeepers of your economy, your history, and your religious expression. It can't be more blatant than that. A person who steals your car is much better than a person who steals your identity. At a moment of your unconsciousness, I come and I change your name. When you wake up, I give you a wrong name. And you can never trace again who you are. That's cruel. That's cruel that you will walk past your mother's house and you will not recognize her. Because I took advantage when you were not conscious. That I make you hate your own brother. That's cruel. Because I'm withholding information from you to tell you that this is your blood brother. Now, stealing identity cannot be more gruesome than that.
They took samples from California and found that human and rat DNA were found in burgers and other products. This report was put out by Clear Lab, and scientists did say that, in fact, they found human DNA and rat DNA and other discrepancies were found in most, if not all, of the burgers that they tested. They tested 258 samples from 79 brands and 22 retailers from retailers and fast food chains in Northern California. But of course, these are food chains all around the world. It's not just California, but this is where they took samples from. They used something called NGS, which is next generation genomic sequencing. Other tests, and they also screen for authenticity, minor substitution, contamination, gluten, fungi, toxic plants, and other allergens. Out of all of those 258 samples, Clear Lab says human DNA was found in one vegetarian burger, other burgers, and rat DNA was found in most of the fast food burgers, and even a vegetarian had ground human meat or something of the sort. Makes you wonder about that KFC advert. I am telling you, do not eat fast food meat. Remember how those Impossible burgers came out? Wasn't shit impossible. But yeah, I just thought I would drop that knowledge on you for the day. Okay.
I saw somebody on here say this, but if you lack self-discipline, you do not take yourself seriously. And that is the truth. Like, if tomorrow you tell yourself you're going to wake up early, work out, eat healthy, and you just don't do it, you do not take yourself seriously. You don't take your words seriously. You don't take your goals seriously. And I think that sometimes it's so easy for us to overlook this because it's like, who are we answering to, right? Like, we made that promise to ourselves and then we don't show up for ourselves, right? But imagine if you made plans with a friend tomorrow. You were going to meet and you were going to hang out, you're going to go on a walk, whatever it was, and your friend just didn't show up. They didn't tell you why, they just didn't show up. You would not want to be friends with that type of person because their actions showed that they don't take you seriously. They don't take your friendship seriously. They don't take your plans seriously. They don't take your words seriously when you make plans. You wouldn't want to be around that type of person, right? We do that to ourselves all the time. Every time that you say you're going to do something and you don't show up, you are essentially telling yourself that you do not take your own self, your own word, your own goals seriously. And I feel like once I finally realized that, it clicked and I was like, okay, even if I don't want to do this, I told myself I was going to, so I have to show up, because if I don't take myself seriously, how is anybody else going to take me seriously?
Are computers sacred? I mean, how do they organize and store video that you can't see, that's not in there, but it delivers it to your screen? That's kind of magic, isn't it?
Yeah, it is magic. You hit it on the head.
No one knows how this goddamn iPhone works. I'm getting video from Australia?
Instantly.
That's magic.
It's magic. And you know why? Because it's magnetism. M-A-G, magic is M-A-G, magnetism. And mag in Sanskrit means to move. So magnetism is the motion of white light, which makes all of this theatre. Hence, that information that we're talking to someone across the earth, and instantly it's going through the ether. That's why. When they did the interferometer experiment, Sagnac and Michelson-Morley, to see if the earth is moving, what they did was they made this big table that turns, and they had light projecting from this angle, contrary to the supposed motion of the earth, and then one's going with the flow of the earth. And what happens was they shot a beam of light across to a reflector, split the beam, split it again, and then recombined with no interference patterns. Then nothing is moving that is solid. It's the ether. They proved, Michelson-Morley, that the ether exists. Thank you, Pierluigi Gino, as well, the Italian genius, who said, the sun is rotating above our heads in the ether.
What? This is nuts, man.
Here's some good Climate Friday news. BYD have just announced 1,000 volt architecture. That means EV charging, you can add 2 kilometers in just 1 second, or 400 kilometers in 5 minutes, or a full charge in just 6 minutes.
Full charge in 6 minutes?
Of the internal combustion
Obviously.
This guy made private jets affordable and sold his company to Warren Buffett for $200 million. Meet Jesse Itzler, the founder of Marquis Jet. After a brief career as rapper Jesse James and writing sports anthems for NBA teams, Jesse was flying on a private jet with a friend in the late 1990s. He loved the experience, but didn't have millions of dollars to buy a plane. So he did something different. Jesse partnered up with Kenny Dichter and approached NetJets, the aviation giant who owned 650 planes. Instead of competing with them, they pitched the CEO their idea, and in 2001, they launched Marquis Jet, selling 25-hour prepaid cards for flying private. The genius move? They didn't own a single jet, while competitors carried massive debt for plane purchases. Marquis partnered with NetJets to use their fleet. They focused on celebrities, athletes, and entrepreneurs who wanted luxury without the long-term commitment, and grew from 0 to 30 million in revenue their first year. Jesse's idea changed private aviation forever. And in 2010, Marquis Jet was acquired by NetJets for an estimated $200 million.
Turns out Kentucky Fried Chicken is actually Kentucky Fried Cannibal. Because why is no one talking about the new advertisement that basically alludes to the fact that we're eating people and not fucking chicken? Once I show you this, if you think anything otherwise, you are absolutely insane, because ain't no way in the fuck you have an ad saying worship the chicken, but you have a person being dipped in gravy and turned into a fucking chicken tender. These companies have to do something called karmic retribution, which means they have to tell us what they're doing so they can afford their karmic loss. This advert absolutely makes no sense, and it's fucking insane and very telling to stop eating KFC. Not only do we see multiple symbols in that video and multiple ritualistic practices, but we also see what appears to be cannibalism. They literally dipped a man in gravy and brought him out as a chicken tender. And you expect me to believe we're eating human meat? That shit already be tasting like deer ankles and fucking antelope ears. No, I won't be eating KFC. And this advert is very weird. It's very like, that egg looks reptilian. It doesn't even look like a chicken egg. But you know what? Yeah, go get y'all food.
Family, another lie, the Atlantic Ocean. You see this ancient map of before 1800s? Look at the name, Oceanius Aethiopicus. You see Atlantic Sea? Let's zoom in, Oceanius Aethiopicus. And if we look at the left side over here, we see the depiction of African brothers meeting the American brothers. Look at this, family. There are historical references to Ethiopia in the Americas, particularly in South America and the Caribbean. And look here, family, the Ethiopian Ocean, many pre-18th century maps labeled the Atlantic Ocean as the Ethiopian Ocean. And look at the map, family. This is how we know they are talking about the Caribbean and South America, Turtle Island, and all the animals depicting each Caribbean island. Look, family, 1898. The Taoist rules forced indigenous people to register as either Indian or Negro, stripped away black indigenous heritage. So if you wonder what this has to do with Tartaria and the orphans, look at this. Were the orphan trains an essential part of repopulating the Americas after a great reset that removed the original black indigenous people? Family, go download the PDF now. It's available on tartariaempire.com or Chematic app. Link to map and more in bio.
Even if I was making $1 million a month, I still want to live in America. That's how bad it is. And that's how I finally figured out that I really woke up. It's not about the money anymore. It's about the quality of life. Because 9 times out of 10, the more money you make in America, the more you're going to spend, the more they're going to take from you. So I'm thinking about it. I'm living in Asia. I'm going to Africa. I'm going to Japan. I'm going to all over. And I'm like, bro, if I have a company and I'm seeing 7 figures a month, why do I need to be in America? Why not go to a tax-free country, right? Go to a tax-free country, move to a country that's not based off interest, and live life. Nah, I got to get out this hamster wheel, bro. America is a real hamster wheel.
Here are some crazy thoughts that'll change the way you see the world. Your body is a self-repairing meat machine piloted by an electric brain that runs on food, controlled by a consciousness that has no idea where it came from. The brain doesn't know what it is, but it did give itself a name. Right now, you're the oldest you've ever been and the youngest you'll ever be. Every decision you've ever made was influenced by something you didn't choose. If the universe was infinite, somewhere out there, an exact copy of you is living an entirely different life. Your dreams are just alternate realities your brain creates and deletes every night. There was a moment in your life when you played outside with your friends for the very last time and none of you knew it. Every single moment in history that you've ever read about happened in what someone thought was a normal day. If your parents never met, you wouldn't just not exist. You'd never even have been an option. If you stopped thinking, you wouldn't exist anymore. You are made of atoms that used to be inside of stars. The atoms in your body are billions of years old, and they will outlive you. The voice inside your head has been speaking to you since birth, and it never shuts up. The earth is spinning at 1,000 miles per hour, flying around the sun at 67,000 miles per hour, yet you feel completely still. And some people also don't believe that's true. At some point in your life, someone unknowingly saw you for the last time. If time travel is possible in the future, where are all the time travelers? There was a time when your parents put you down and never picked you up again. That's I have a 1-year-old dad cry.
China possesses the world's most efficient and innovative capabilities. To eliminate venue limitations for parties, we've invented a transformational truck, transformational container, that can move anywhere. When transformed, it accommodates 200 people, offering infinite possibilities for party scenarios. Equipped with ventilation systems, central air conditioning, and a 5D holographic digital hall, the space can store various foldable furniture after contraction. This innovation can multiply revenue potential for your business plans.
That's true.
So yes, who we're referring to? Yes, her right here. Yes, Georgina. She literally exposed her personal manifestation hacks and life on how she got as far as she did. Check this out.
Manifestation is so fucking real. And I will always say this. Because before my music started blowing up, mind you, a lot of people don't know, but I've been making music for a long time. I've been making music since like the pandemic, okay? So it's like at least 4 years, give or take. All right, so a couple months before I blew up, every morning and every night, I would go to sleep and wake up manifesting where my life would be at by the end of the year, okay? And it happened. It happened. I said it out loud, I wrote it down, and I worked towards it. I started getting on my platform and posting. I started working harder. And I got exactly what I was manifesting. Now, just because I have what I manifested doesn't mean that I stop. I still manifest every day so I can keep what I have and still succeed more. Because there's always more in life. You can always be a better version of yourself. Every day, I try harder to be the best version of myself that I can possibly be. More of the story, manifestation, affirmations, speaking life into yourself, 100% real, 1000%. I still do it every day. And in my opinion, as long as you're putting good out into the world, you'll receive it in a tenfold. So start your days off with positive affirmations. Tell yourself that you're going to have a good day. You're going to be positive. You're going to be happy. You're going to be joyful. You're going to have a productive day. You're going to be successful. Eat you some breakfast, do a little workout, stretch, go to sleep, do the same thing. I'm going to have a great day tomorrow. I'm going to have an even better day tomorrow. Just like that, twin. Just like that.
What? That was so simple. It still might go over people's heads. She literally exposed everything. Law of attraction. You see what I'm saying? Gratitude. Affirmations, especially affirmations. Frequency. Visualization. She told you she went to sleep and thought about this right before what? Right before she blew up. This is so simple. People don't understand simple cells. It's so simple. She hit on everything on here. Why? And don't forget, last but not least, she wrote it all down. Literally, she exposed everything and you literally have access to it. Life-changing information that changed her life in real time. And you can see the replica. You see what I'm saying? You can see the reflection of it. So make sure that you see the reflection of how you want your life to go and how you want to see the change in your life. Click that link and get yours now.
Hailey Bieber is a handler, allegedly. Y'all gotta pay attention. Hollywood is a system. Hailey Bieber is a part of that system. She was born into that system. Kendall Jenner was born into that system. Kendall Jenner played a major hand in helping Hailey bag Justin because they are both a part of the system. Candace Owens tried to tell you that. When Candace Owens made a video about Justin Bieber not too long ago, talking about how he's trying to break out of the system and get away from Hollywood, she said what the movie Rosemary's Baby told you guys, that it's several people around a celebrity that work against them. Just like if you've seen American Horror Story Delicate, which Kim Kardashian was in. Kim Kardashian was like a publicist that was a part of the system, the coven that was trying to get her client, Anna Alcott, to join in. And if you don't join in, there are serious consequences. Hailey Bieber is a part of that system, a part of that coven. Just like on Rosemary's Baby, the doctor and everybody in the apartment building that lived with Rosemary and her husband were a part of the system. Just like what Kanye is trying to tell you guys, it's a system. Like he's saying, my trainer and my wife and Hulu and all these other people, the nanny, the school, the chef. It's not just one label head that's doing all of this stuff. It's a system. How do you think R. Kelly was able to do what he was doing to so many women? There was a system around R. Kelly. They had a whole operation. Just like slavery, it wasn't just a few plantation masters. It was a whole operation to pull off that type of crazy shit. Hailey Bieber is a part of that. And when I learned that her family had debts and that Justin Bieber helped to pay off some of their debts and didn't sign a prenup and sold the rights to his music.
What?
These people
He didn't sign a prenup?
Clearly
that's crazy.
Armed him into that marriage, and he couldn't say no. He couldn't back
That's
off
like the death
because
sentence,
he is a part of the system and he is a puppet. And therefore he has no control over his life. Which is why some celebrities decide to pow themselves because they don't want to be controlled anymore. And the only way that they can be free is that they're no longer here. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all about Kanye. Like, Kanye is begging for somebody to unalive him because he is sick of being controlled. Wake up. Yes, Hailey Bieber clearly did some type of backdoor, weird, candles and cauldrons on Justin. But it wasn't just her. She had a brood of other members of a coven who helped her. That boy in bondage. Let's talk in the comments.
How the police can unlock your phone without a password.
That's crazy.
The police use advanced forensic tools like Celebrite and Grey Key to bypass phone security and get full access to your data. Grey Key is particularly powerful. It can crack passwords and unlock both Android and iPhones, even if the device is encrypted. Celebrite, on the other hand, is capable of extracting deleted messages, call logs, photos, and app data from platforms such as WhatsApp. And once they've extracted that data, it's organized in a way that makes it easy for investigators to go through, just like scrolling through your phone. Even if the police can't unlock your phone, they can still access cloud backups on iCloud and Google Drive, giving them access to messages, photos, and files without needing your device. Now, if the police ask for your passcode, you do not have to give it. But under the RIPPER Act, they can issue a Section 49 notice, which legally requires you to hand it over. Refusing to comply can result in up to 2 years in prison.
What?
Or even 5 years if the case is serious.
Really?
As always, if you want the best defense, get in touch and follow us for more.
Why do young men love old movies more than modern ones? It's because men in those movies had presence. They weren't superheroes, they weren't fools, they were just men. Today, Hollywood gives us male leads that are insecure, weak, or simply a joke. And they care more about being relatable than admirable. But here's the truth. Us men don't want relatable. We want aspirational. What's one classic movie you believe every man should watch? Let me know down in the comments.
So this girl right here, Sky Bree, is currently pretty well known in the adult film industry. Not too long ago, she did a podcast on her career speaking about the things that she does, in which she said a lot of things that people in her career space aren't willing to admit to. Watch this clip from that podcast and let me know what you guys think about it.
Over the past few months, I've become really unhappy and regretting certain decisions that I've made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like regretting just like making that kind of content, or like just
there's so many different factors. The first one is my parents. My parents, it took a while for them to be proud of me. They're proud of me now that I'm 24 and I'm financially stable.
Yeah.
But I don't think they like what I do, and that's like hard, not being able to talk to them about like my career.
Yeah. Did they know what you were doing before it kind of blew up? Like when it was just pocket change?
Mm-mm.
No.
My parents didn't know why I moved to LA. They thought I was just gonna model. That's what I told them. But then my whole family like stalks my social media and stuff, and I think my aunt one day went onto my Twitter and saw trailers of just straight on nose and sent it to my mom. And I remember getting a text from my mom. She was like, "Skylar, you lied to me. You said you weren't getting into and this is not." So that was kind of awkward at first, and my dad and that whole side of the family disowned me.
One time,
it's crazy.
I bought like extra large condoms. No, because the normal ones, they're quite tight. You try to get them. You know, sometimes you gotta get it on. You're fucking around for ages.
Yeah, you got to
You gotta buy the extra large. We say too big, brother. They don't make them for human consumption. They're not for humans. When I went to put it on, this thing coming like a sleeping bag. I went to bed. I just pull it. I went to sleep. I had to pull the condom over my whole body. The guy had my bed here. Good night here.
That's when you realised
I thought I was packing. I better I'll take it back. I thought I was blessed. But I might as well carry on with all this fake confidence.
You thought you had a growth spurt.
Brother, no, but I should have went for large. That's what I should have went for, maybe. Brother, man got the XL thinking say my bad man.
But I didn't even know they do. I thought just one size fits all.
No, Chris. They don't sell them in your type of shops that you get.
I don't got like me and you on the same level.
I realise I am now. We're on the same level now. You know them the bubble thing. You know they do like they got like the big ring and then they run and do the big long bubble.
Yeah.
But that's how big the condom was. Chris, I could have put my whole leg in there. My whole leg. I could have worn them as fucking Wellington boots. The thing big.
Women with low standards are obsessed with how they're seen, and women with high standards are obsessed with how they're treated. That ain't, but hold on. Yesterday, I was at Gymshark Lift event, and there was a dude walking around with a microphone asking a whole bunch of girls a whole bunch of questions. I know he was trying to stay on theme, but I just want you to listen to this. One of the girls was asked, you have a choice between two men. A man that is in shape, he works out, he looks great, he's 6 foot tall, but he's broken, he has no money. And the other guy has a great job, a good career, and he has a dad bod, or he's fat and he's out of shape. And the girl was like, oh, we could work on the dad bod. Hee hee ha ha. But hear me out. Which one of them has integrity? Which one of them had morals? The fact that questions like that surface and people are really that superficial with the answers baffles me.
Let's look at the deplorable rituals that they perform in the industry, and it all goes back to Mystery Babylon and ancient Egypt, i.e. the fallen angels. Michael Jackson's Remember the Time was a love story, but he wasn't singing to Amon. He was singing to Eddie. I'm going to show you in just a minute. He was acting out a 3-part deity. Ta, also pronounced Ptah, but the P is usually silent. Sokar Osiris. Sokar is a falcon-headed god with a horn crown. Right before they show you Eddie, they show you the falcon. The falcon is also used to represent Horus, which is why Eddie has the eye of Horus on his collar, which I'm getting to in just a second. Osiris is the god of the afterlife, so that's why Mike appears here dressed as the Grim Reaper. He then turns himself into an image of gold. He's now become the god Ta, or Ptah. He was the god of craftsmen and sculptors and was often pictured in gold. He's the inspiration for the Oscar, which also sounds a lot like Sokar, Oscar. In this next clip, you can hear him pronouncing his name both ways, Ptah and Ta. The video starts with cats. There's cats throughout the video because the cat represents the love interest. Sekhmet was the consort or wife of Ta. She was a cat-headed deity. Notice how that cat is directly in front of Eddie. He pointed directly at Eddie. Watch his hand movements. Not you. You, Eddie. And did you notice how he made eye contact with him? Look at the X and O on the apron for hugs and kisses. Mike runs off and then he turns into Osiris. Pay attention to the crossed arms, the beard, and the hat. Arms, beard, hat. He's getting ready to show you what happened between Set and Horus. Set was the brother to Osiris. He defiled Osiris' son Horus, his nephew, in an unspeakable way. Aleister Crowley would say the eye of Horus is better than the mouth of Isis, Isis being female. And as you can see here, he's also represented by a falcon. And remember, Eddie had the eye of Horus and the falcon. That's what they're showing you here, the eye of Horus, Mike in the middle being the pupil. But before the women assemble around him, watch how he touches the child on the head right here and points up to the sky. How crazy is it that they call school-aged children pupil? Let me explain what that means.
This is the eye of Lucifer. But believe it or not, it corresponds to a human organ that, for lack of a more delicate term, we'll call the rectum. Which is kind of ironic when you think about it. This represents Lucifer. And what this refers to is that the occult archaeometric doctrine of Masonry is that by accessing alternate universes through sodomy, especially of young boys, you can access alternate dimensions of reality through what are called the tunnels of Typhon. There is a belief that through this sexual perversion, they can access these tunnels into alternate universes, alternate realities. And the goal of this kind of magic is to find your own universe and become the god over that universe. This buys into the modern day physics theory that there's many, many dimensions of reality. Maybe you've read about that. Alternate universes. It shows up in science fiction a lot. And then once you're the god of this universe, you can start sucking the energy out of it. And you can use that energy through this child to live forever and ever and ever.
Here's Aleister Crowley dressed as Osiris. That pose is called Osiris Risen. You've seen a lot of celebrities making that pose, the Black Panther being one of them. Mike, like most of Hollywood, was a follower of Crowley, though he advertised it in subtle ways. Look at the 777 on his arm. He did that to give nod to one of Crowley's most popular books, 777 and Other Kabbalistic Writings. This quote inspired one of Mike's greatest albums. Notice that last paragraph says, more dangerous. This is the album cover for Dangerous. That's Crowley over to the right at the bottom, and that's Mike's hand holding a small child. But look how the video ends. They show you the cat, then they're going to show you Eddie because Eddie represents the cat. And then Michael turns back into Ta. And there's the cat.
Here's a simple timeline of how Russia came to own Trump. So the KGB first began monitoring him in '77 when he married Ivana from Czechoslovakia. They determined that Trump's ambition combined with willingness to be manipulated with flattery made him an easy target. In the '80s, Trump met with Soviet Ambassador Yuri Dubinin, who praised Trump with flattery and invited him to Moscow on an all-expense-paid trip to explore real estate. This trip was designed by the KGB to assess Trump as an asset. Immediately, on his return to the U.S., he began taking out newspaper ads attacking U.S. allies while praising Russia. In the 90s, Trump's businesses start failing and he falls into billions of dollars in debt. No U.S. banks will lend to him, so he turns to Russia, who lend him money and began buying his properties for way too much money. In 2013, he returns to Moscow. At this point, almost all of his debt is owned by Russia, and they continue talks about a potential Trump Tower in Moscow. It is on this trip that compromising material is collected on Trump, aka the Steele dossier, the famous tapes. Now Trump runs for president on a platform that matches the Kremlin's goals almost exactly. And here we are.
Rick Ross
What?
makes rich rap. He makes luxury
Crazy.
rap. He makes the type of music that when you listen to it, you feel
Things are really happening in this
all the
world,
money in
man.
the world and you can literally accomplish anything. I've been listening to a lot of Rick Ross this week and basically trying to break down and understand why his music evokes this type of luxurious and motivating feeling. And I've concluded that there are three elements that make Rick Ross's luxury rap. It's what he says, how he says it, and the beat in which he says it on. So what he says is always centered around how much money he has and how much he's hustling to make more. So very ostentatious, a lot of money, cars, wealth, lifestyle, that sort of thing.
Before the crib, you gotta clear the guards gate. Elevators like Franks on Scarface.
How he raps it refers to his flow, his cadence, and in as much as he has like quite a commanding like voice and flow, I would say he kind of still has this croon going on. I think probably one of the most important elements that makes Rick Ross's music make you feel rich is the production. I'm just going to call out a few similarities I found across his catalogue. It's not an exhaustive list. I'm sure there are more elements, but this is just what I picked up on. He uses a lot of orchestral instruments on his production, so mainly flutes and strings, but sometimes he'll use like brass and woodwind instruments as well. These instruments already kind of have their own associations and like connotations attached to them, but the way in which they're played on these songs, they're very often in a high octave, and it creates this kind of like tranquil fairy tale feeling, which I feel like kind of like locks you into the song even more. It's almost got this film score, Disney-like filming to it, and I think because of the repetition that is used with the flutes or the strings, you're already kind of locked into the song. So once Rick Ross comes in talking about like you can achieve anything, all this money that he's making, you think to yourself, yeah, I can do this. I would say he's one of the few rappers who consistently uses orchestral instruments within his music. That's why it was so befitting when he performed with a full orchestra earlier this year.
When it comes to tools, fool, I'm a pep boy. When it comes to dope, I was quick to export. Never tell the ball the source. Said the export.
Another similarity I've noticed.
Oh, that's so
he uses
creative.
a lot of sustained piano chords, and what that does, they're a lot gentler on the ear, and it means that there's like, as the chord is ringing out and finishing, it creates space and essentially a pocket for Rick Ross to slide in.
Yeah. Room full of cloaks and they can. Niggas.
Creates this perfect space for what he's saying and how he's saying it against the backdrop of a very like dreamy and tranquil feeling, and that's why his music feels luxurious and like slightly motivating. And I think a key thing that ties this all together is that the production doesn't sound that logicified. That's definitely not a word, but what I'm trying to say is that the instruments don't sound as digital. Sometimes they sound as if they're being played live, which often isn't the case, but I think that's more testament to the samples that are used. Samples have live instrumentation, so then it sounds like the songs do as well.
Man, I have to start listening to him, man. I've never tried listening to him before.
Bink, who made Santorini, Greece, and the sample that he used did have live instrumentation on it. And that is how Rick Ross makes rich rap.
Check this shit out. When you talk about the word X-Men, the X represents Photo 51. Photo 51 was a picture taken in 1951 by Rosalind Franklin and Raymond Gosling that provided the picture that allowed the structure of DNA to be, discovered. The same year Photo 51 was taken was the year that Henrietta Lacks transitioned, and her cervix was taken from her, unknowingly to her and her family, by a doctor, because she was the first cell they were able to document that was a mortal cell line. And an immortalized cell line is a group of cells that can continue to replicate infinitely. So all the biology books, mitochondria, cells, blood that you know to this day, that you studied in school, has everything to do with the studies of these HeLa cells, Henrietta Lacks cells, that they got in 1951. Check this shit out. When you talk about
when you're single, they prescribe the usual. Work on yourself. Love will come when you least expect it. Stay busy. Find a hobby. Just enjoy it. Yes, cool, heard. But here's what no one says. And a reminder to you today, let yourself be wild. Not reckless, not self-destructive, but untamed. I'm not talking about sleeping diagonally across the bed. I'm talking about maybe leaving town on a whim, doing things that make you feel alive because it makes you feel alive, not because it makes sense. Let your nights be long and your mornings slow. The spirit of Ferris Bueller. Tap into that. And learn the art of deep loneliness, not the kind that feels like a waiting room, but the kind that feels like an invitation. To know yourself so well that when someone finally joins you, they are walking into a world, not a void, right? You're bringing a life to the table. Build a life that succeeds you, a life that tastes good at every hour, whether someone is sitting across from you or not. No one tells you this, but being single isn't the in-between. It's the whole damn thing. Live it.
Like that.
DeepSeek may have literally just saved humanity. By making their powerful AI models free and open source, they stopped any one company from monopolizing AI and controlling the entire world. It's clear some companies were trying to. The CEO of ChatGPT's parent company was so cocky and confident about winning the AI race and owning everything that he was openly bragging about changing the entire structure of society and modifying the social contract. But now that DeepSeek has made more powerful models than ChatGPT available to the public for free and open source, they can't talk about changing the entire structure of society anymore. It's like DeepSeek put power in the hands of the people. Over the past few months, we've seen OpenAI go to closed AI and go from a non-profit to for-profit, clearly attempting to hoard all of their so-called discoveries for themselves and gain as much power as they possibly could. DeepSeek democratizing their powerful AI algorithms for free has destroyed OpenAI's dystopian dreams. It has also exposed OpenAI as a bunch of hypocrites. They claim that they wanted to help humanity while charging $200 a month and keeping their models closed source. DeepSeek has done none of that. By making their powerful models available for free, they may have just saved humanity. OpenAI for being complete hypocrites about your actual mission and for trying to restructure all of human society. You've just made the D3 list, a podcast about dumb, desperate, and diabolical business decisions.
The United Arab Emirates officially committed $1.4 trillion to invest in the United States, y'all. Do you know as of 2025, so many states has been on fire with these wildfires? Y'all, the crazy thing is the 1.4 trillion investment that they doing in the United States just so happen to be around some of the same states that's been on fire. I'm not trying to say anything, I'm just saying, what's the coincidence? Could this be a part of the smart city that they've been talking about? So they said with this investment, they will work on AI infrastructure, semiconductors, energy, and American manufacturing. I just gotta ask, why is a foreign nation so eager to put 1.4 trillion into our nation, our economy, especially tech and our infrastructure? I need y'all thoughts down below on how do y'all feel about this foreign nation putting 1.4 trillion into our economy. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? I always look forward to the future, but not under weird circumstances, y'all.
Oh, mind reading AirPods and mind control lasers. Are you guys ready for this one? Have a seat. So Apple has a patent on AirPods, which actually look like my AirPods, which would read all your brain data. It would read EEGs, EMGs, and EOGs. All these little sensors. Now, in the name of brain health, is this a good thing? Absolutely. But you can't deny the privacy and ethical issues that are going to come along with this. And don't get it twisted, it's just not Meta and Apple that are investing on tech that can decode your thoughts. There are tons of companies that are working on neurotechnologies. If you're unclear what neurotechnologies are, you can pause and read. And if you think this is all a crock, in 2021, Chile became the first country to amend its freaking constitution because of neurotechnologies. In fact, in August of 2023, their Supreme Court unanimously made a decision ordering a US-based brain-computer interface company to delete all its data it had collected on a former Chilean senator. I never thought I'd see the day where we were fighting for rights over our thoughts, but here the hell we are. Now, in the US, as far as I know, Colorado and California are really the only two states that have been actively working on this. And Colorado expanded its Privacy Act to cover neural data, requiring companies to protect it as sensitive information. So within Colorado's Privacy Act, it expands the definition of sensitive data. Because as far as I know, when you click all these privacy agreements, there's nothing that specifies neuro data, because all this technology is advancing way faster than laws. This needs to not be a state-to-state issue. This needs to be a federal issue. Oh, I'm not done yet. Here we go.
Dr. Rafael Yuste is a professor of biological sciences and neuroscience at Columbia University. After years of research, he discovered a way to control the thoughts of mice using lasers.
This was actually my Oppenheimer moment, but at the same time, I felt whatever you can do in a mouse today, you could do in a human tomorrow.
He basically did Inception in real life, and it scared him so much that he started the NeuroRights Foundation.
Maybe it's just me, but if a scientist discovers you could do mind control with lasers and feels strongly enough about it to create a NeuroRights Foundation, we should really start paying attention.
These are the top 5 passports in the world for global freedom, not just for ease of travel, but for true access, opportunity, and the ability to establish your life on your own terms. At number 5 is the UAE. A decade ago, this passport wouldn't have made the cut. But today, well, visa-free entry to 180 plus countries, and a government that's built Dubai into the ultimate playground for entrepreneurs. The catch? Unless you're granted citizenship, you're better off enjoying the residency perks instead. At number 4 is Portugal. EU access, tax incentives, and a digital nomad visa that actually makes sense. It's no surprise this passport has become one of the most desirable. Whether it's Lisbon's startup scene or the Algarve's slower pace, Portugal offers both freedom and flexibility. Plus, for those who played the golden visa game right, citizenship is within reach after just 5 years. At number 3 is Singapore, one of the most respected passports globally, giving you visa-free entry to 195 countries and a front row seat to one of the world's most efficient economies. The downside? Well, getting Singaporean citizenship is nearly impossible, and dual citizenship is off the table. At number 2 is Ireland. An EU passport with UK access, all thanks to the Common Travel Area Agreement. It's a strategic one to hold. Low taxes for non-residents, strong financial stability, and a citizenship by descent policy that means if you have an Irish grandparent, you might already be eligible. And at number 1, as they are with many things,
yes.
Switzerland. Financial security, global respect, and visa-free travel to over 190 countries. But like most things in Switzerland, it doesn't come easy. You'll need at least 10 years of residency, integration into the community, and a solid grasp of German, French, or Italian before they let you in. If you can pull it off, well, you get one of the most powerful passports on the planet.
Black America is under demonic possession. I believe hip-hop has been possessed by a demonic entity. I believe the black church is possessed by a demonic entity. I think snow bunny hoppers are possessed by a demonic entity. I'm serious. I hear you. We are God's chosen people, and the job of the devil when it comes to God's chosen people is to convince us to turn our backs on our divinity. There are beings that we cannot see. There is evil surrounding all of us, Brother Nick. You know this. It's in the music industry. It's in the hip-hop industry. It's in the conscious community. We are under demonic assault. We're not just fighting the things we see, we're fighting beings that we cannot see. If we don't change the movies, the images, and the music, it's going to be hard to get our people back. Because sound and image is the language of the soul. Everything in your mind is stored as an image. Pictures are powerful. Music is the language of the soul. So trying to save our people spiritually while they still listening to demonically possessed music and watching demonically possessed movies, it's going to be difficult to do. We need another renaissance. We need a cultural renaissance.
Damn, this was crazy. And we've come to the end. These videos were mind-bending, mind-blowing. We learned a lot, right? New discoveries, new things happening around the world, things that we didn't even know was happening, you know, unbelievable discoveries, secrets were unveiled, and so many things which were amazing was in this video. And we've come to the end. As usual, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and also share with your friends. And also click on the notification bell icon so that any video that I post, you will be the first to get it. Adios amigos, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye.